like to thank everybody for coming here today. This is my first attempt ever in front of a microphone, so I really appreciate your patience. Those of you who know me personally are fully and sometimes painfully aware of my passion for this industry and for the horses I love with every fiber of my being. And to those people, I'd like to apologize for having borne the brunt of that all-consuming passion and ferocity since the Drummond Report first came out to the public. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Wendy Wolff. According to the federal government, I am a farmer. According to the Ontario Racing Commission, I am a thoroughbred owner and trainer. But first and foremost, like many of you here today, I am a horseman. This rally is just one of a dozen or more taking place today on behalf of all horsemen, targeting Liberal MPP constituency offices all across this province. These events are being held to reiterate to our government the devastating effect closing the slots at racetrack will have on their particular communities. These politicians need to see the faces of whose livelihoods they are negating, not only within the horse racing and breeding industry, but within the wide-ranging economic cycle that our business sustains. We are all angry and frustrated by our government's short-sightedness and blatant misrepresentation of our contribution to this province. But regardless of your political persuasion, the man whose office we stand before must not be the target of those emotions.
That's right.
Kim Craitor has fought tirelessly with his own government on behalf of the Fort Erie racetracking community. He was the only Liberal MPP on Monday's Queen's Park Horsemen's Rally to have the courage to take the podium to accept our many petitions from Fort Erie Mayor Doug Martin.
Yay!
Kim Craitor has successfully managed to do what no other politician or tax-paying citizen has been able to do so far in this matter: get Dalton McGuinty to at least agree to consider the Fort Erie Live Racing Consortium's proposal to privatize the slots at Fort Erie and keep the dedicated people in our industry working instead of on welfare. Even though we may differ in our opinions about his political party, the fact remains Kim Craitor needs our help now more than ever to stand up against the dictatorship of Mr. McGuinty and his sidekick, Mr. Duncan.
Yay! Yay!
I am here to personally thank Kim Craitor and to support him in his efforts on our behalf. And I sincerely hope you will all join me in that sentiment.
Yay! Yay!
I would now like to introduce to you my very best friend, the owner of DV8 Hair Salon here in Niagara Falls, hairstylist and horseman extraordinaire, Mr. Ron Liebel.
Hey.
Somebody told me Wendy didn't have a background in public speaking. I'm pretty sure they're full of it. Just saying. Tough act to follow, kiddo. But what I wanted to express, especially when Wendy talked to me, is I do own a focus salon in Niagara Falls. Our salon employs 15 people. That doesn't sound like a big number in a hair salon when you're relating it to 60,000 jobs in the horse industry. What it does sound like is a $20,000 loss to my salon. There's over 200 salons in the Niagara region that are all going to feel that ripple effect in the same way. So what does that mean, and how does that translate to our community? It translates, 5 students are now out of work. 10 more that wanted apprenticeships in my salon can't have them. Why? We don't have the revenue to pay them when you take $20,000 out of my personal income, let alone the income of the other people that work for me. How does that happen? Each guest that comes to my salon spends on average $125 a person. On average, they come in 4 times a year. That's $500 a head. The 30 people that we service that were previously employed at the Fort Erie racing slots are no longer going to be spending $125 a pop on their hair.
That's right.
That's right.
That's a big loss to our community. What does that translate to? Students out of work, students not being able to get jobs, and those are students in hair programs. How many people thought about the effect that that little decision would have had on that industry and every other industry in this city? This is Niagara Falls. We are 30 kilometers away from that decision, yet I can count on the top of my hand over $100,000 in revenue losses to different businesses that associates of mine own. I travel as a national educator for John Paul Mitchell Systems. They're pulling contracts for hair care. They're pulling contracts saying, we don't know what the industry is going to be like and what's going to happen in the near future, so we're going to slow down. We're going to scale down. If a multi-billion-dollar company is going to scale down and slow down as a result of a decision made in our area, could somebody please tell me how a small business such as mine is supposed to survive?
Yeah, no way.
horses have always been my passion since I was a little baby, and it's neat to look around and see people like Vera Walters. She's been in horses since before I was alive, and she'll be in them long after I lose interest, I'm sure. The Willocks, they were in, well, I'm not going to say, but I'm pretty sure one of them changed my diaper. They have 2 kids that are in the horse industry. All that whole family in the horse industry. Their spouses in the horse industry. They're feeling it more than anybody I know. How can we sit back and let it happen that our community doesn't support the very communities that have paid all our bills? I know our hair salon's going to support you for whatever we can. So I'm pretty sure every business in Niagara is going to support you for whatever they can.
Yay! 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 Yay!